Have you ever woken up with a great idea of an activity to help your students with an area you notice they're struggling with? This is that morning. My chemistry students are struggling with conversion factors during dimensional analysis. They get how to pick out the given, the unknown, identify the information. They even can get the calculations at the end. It's just putting in and plugging in that conversion factor. Well, this morning, I'm putting together an activity that I think will help them in my Zoom chemistry class. And, well, I will share out how it goes. Okay, so this is the activity that I put together for my writing conversion factors. And like I said, I kept it simple. I did not get big and fancy. I had so many big ideas, but kept it simple. And it worked wonderfully. This is a Jamboard. And if you're not familiar with Jamboard, this is a Google app. I access it by going to my waffle and scrolling until I see Jamboard. This account is not my big account that I have most of my Jamboards on, but at least it gives you an idea of what Jamboard is, how to find it. If you go down at the bottom right, you'll see the plus sign for a new jam. Click that and it will open up a fresh new board for you to create. Now, my Jamboard activity did not look this put together this morning, right before, doing it right before my Zoom class started, but the factors that it did have was a name, of course, the title, and I used this example. Now, I wrote this in using the mouse, but I do have a tablet that I tend to use most of the time. But like I said, I was in a hurry to get it done, and my tablet just did not want to function well for me when I needed it to function at the drop of a dime. I did have these instructions to use the tools to write both conversion factors for each statement. And I was very particular about that language because that's the language I use with my students in class. So I wanted them to be able to attach the action to that language. I did use the same problems for each Jamboard because I wanted them at this point to be able to move back and forth between the Jamboards and see what other students were doing to help them basically validate their own thoughts. So I copied this Jamboard by coming up at the top here and clicking on the top banner, and you can go to the dots. If you hover over a Jamboard, the dots will come up. You can click on the dots and you can duplicate or delete the Jamboards. I duplicated this for my students. This is a very small class, so when they scroll forward, they saw the same Jamboard. They know to write their names to claim their boards, and this is an activity that I've had to do with them a few times for them to understand that. And if they see an anonymous critter, then they know that someone is in the process of claiming, and just to go ahead and click forward. Another thing I like about using activities like this is that I'm able to scroll through and see what my students are doing. So where this student, she was not writing anything, I was able to have that private chat conversation with her to see where she was stuck, how I can help. And as it turned out, she just preferred to write her things on her own paper. That's her style of taking notes, of getting things down. And she was able to have that discussion with me as far as what she was doing and what she was writing, and I was able to assess her knowledge that way. Other students may prefer to use the sticky notes in order to complete their assignment, write with the pen, and they can choose their color, or maybe even just drop a text box in here and type out their answers. Or they can use a combination where it's typing and drawing, but it provides them with that choice. Another thing just to mention, since I'm talking about it, that I want to get more into doing is I use Vocaroo as an audio app where I will record instructions, feedback, and put the link in assignments, whether I'm using ClassKit, Jamboard, or some other, whatever the activity, and that adds an extra layer for students that may be audio and prefer to hear that. And plus, it just adds my voice. We're talking about increasing that presence in the online setting. That works great for that. But this activity, very simple, was able to go back and review whatever I missed in teaching this the first time, how to identify that conversion factor and what it means and how it plugs into dimensional analysis. They were literally like, oh, that's what it is. Now I understand where you got these units from the problem to use to counsel. I guess in my excitement, I did not clearly explain that, but taking just maybe, I'm going to say maybe 5 to 10 minutes total for my instruction in this activity made a huge difference when we went back and immediately plugged this into our dimensional analysis problems. It just was so much smoother. The students were more confident, and because they were more confident in doing this, they were more engaged. Please drop in the chat what strategies you use, your techniques, activities you use, especially in an online environment, to get them understanding dimensional analysis. And be sure to subscribe. I will drop a new vlog each week with some new activity or some experience or just a debrief on what happened in my class. I teach AP chemistry, and 7th grade, and have taught other subjects in both Adobe and Zoom for this year and other systems and online platforms in previous years. Thank you guys.